want to talk about Tua Tagovailoa. He's apparently ready in Miami for the Dolphins. He's been medically cleared, has been given a clean bill of health, and I'm interested as to what you think the Dolphins should do. Because much like the situation in Los Angeles with Justin Herbert, never, ever trust a man with two first names, who's going to sit behind Tyrod Taylor. They've got a wily veteran that's ready to go in and help them win. Chargers are in a much different place, however, as they're ready to win right now, and they think they can do that, and Tyrod Taylor can steady the ship. The Dolphins are in the same position I feel like the Washington football team was in last year, or the Denver Broncos potentially were in even last season, where not so much the Broncos, I take that back, more so the Washington football team with Dwayne Haskins in 2019, where they weren't going to win anything of note. And even though Jay Gruden was on his deathbed as an NFL head coach and he was a lame duck coach and needed to win in order to save his job, you weren't going to do it with Case Keenum. You weren't going to do it with Colt McCoy. So why not let the young fella go out and play in Dwayne Haskins? They didn't do that. He had to wait until the latter half of the season before he got to start. Kind of stunted his growth a bit, but that's nor here nor there. The bottom line is, do you take the Los Angeles Chargers approach that they're going to have with Justin Herbert? Or do you take the Cincinnati Bengals approach that they're going to have with Joe Burrow, which they're just going to throw him in week one and never look back and say, hey, Joe, go get him and get your feet wet. Figure out the nuances of the NFL. Yeah, it's going to come with some growing pains and some lumps and bumps along the way, but you're going to be better off because of it. Do you go with that model? Or do you go with the Chargers model? You got a veteran here if you're the Dolphins in Ryan Fitzpatrick, a.k.a. Fitty Fitty. Look, you're not going to win a damn thing with Fitty Fitty at quarterback. He's going to give you a chance every single week, but you're not going to win anything of note. And so if you're the Dolphins, and they've got a coaching staff, they've got a GM, all kind of tied together that aren't going anywhere. They've got a chance to build this thing the right way. So there's no hurry here. So you could make a case for both sides. If there's no hurry, put Tua in, let him take his lumps so that you can kind of expedite the process. Or you can say, look, I got a team full of guys that want to win and want to win now. And Ryan Fitzpatrick gives us the best opportunity to do that. So let him play and let the young fella continue to mend, learn. And then when the opportunity comes, we'll put him in. I don't know if that's the best route to go. If Tua's healthy and he's been cleared medically, and this is where preseason, not having preseason comes into play, and it really hurts a team like the Dolphins, because I think back to 2012 with the Seattle Seahawks and Russell Wilson. Remember back in 2012, they had signed Matt Flynn that offseason to come in, gave him a bunch of money to be their starting quarterback, wrestled him away from Green Bay, and they drafted Russell Wilson in the third round that year. And they thought, he was an afterthought. Maybe he's the quarterback of the future, but he'll be a backup in the meantime behind Flynn. And Russell Wilson came in day one, showed the leadership qualities that they were looking for. He wowed them in everything that he did. And then he went into the preseason and tore it to shreds. And at that point, they said, okay, this is our quarterback, not of the future, but of right now. And they haven't looked back since. 2 Super Bowl appearances later, 1 win later. They've got arguably the best quarterback in all of football, probably behind Patrick Mahomes at this point. So you could look at that model and say, that's what the preseason can provide for you. Maybe a little bit of clarity. Maybe you throw Tua in the preseason and he struggles a bit and you realize he's not ready yet. Or maybe you throw Tua in there in the preseason and he lights it up and you say, hey, this guy's ready to go right now. Let's throw him out there and see what he's got. But you don't have the benefit of a preseason this year. And that also kind of factors into my decision-making process. I still would go with Tua. What do you think? What should the Dolphins do if he's really healthy? If there are no physical limitations, there are no setbacks or no potential for setbacks, and he's okay, should the Dolphins pull the trigger on Tua Tagovailoa right away, week one, right out of the gate? Or should they allow Fitty Fitty to have the reins initially and allow Tua to be brought along a little bit slower? What do you think the Dolphins should do?
Louie.